Testing, testing.
Distinguished guests, directors, staff, parents, and of course, students. Welcome to our prize giving for 2024. I'm Smarty, and I'm joined on the stage by Rihanna. And may I say, looking particularly fabulous. We welcome our special guest, Mr. Lawrence Jones, from the Football Association and Market Harbor Football Club, to present our awards. We are all winners, and tonight we can celebrate our community successes together.
Thomas Riley, thank you very much. You also look very handsome this evening. It's my honor to welcome everyone today. We're recognizing our graduating in the team. We are all extremely proud of you for all the hard work you put in throughout the years. We are acknowledging that they have completed their academic studies and are graduating from the Football Academy as well. They will receive a certificate signed by Brookhouse's very own legends, including Mr. Giles Williams, Mr. Mickey Adams, and Ash.
Tonight we will present prizes for academic performance and progress, football achievements, and engagement in the community. There will also be some student presentations to illustrate highlights for our youth.
Thank you, Samantha. It's now my privilege to welcome our principal, Mr. Ian Smith, to offer his opening address.
Esteemed guests, our directors, Mr. and Mrs. Williams, representatives of the advisory board, teachers, coaches, staff, parents, and most importantly, students. Thank you, Rihanna and Smaddy, for a really excellent start and welcome. It is our privilege as a community to come together as Brookhouse College, in person and online, streamed all over the world. And last year, I know there was some breakdown in the Wi-Fi. We had an event that lasted nigh on 3 hours. This will be 90 minutes and hopefully a little shorter. We'll keep punctual if we can. We're on the 80th anniversary of D-Day, and we're during the course of an election. Like so many countries across the world this year, elections are important parts of the year. Elections are hard fought and maintained to democratically elect governments. So in 2024, let's just ask ourselves where we are. A gathering of students in front of us are graduates for 2024. Look ahead to a world without classroom walls, not limiting them, rules, restrictions, remembering their experiences, looking forward to learning from lessons in the future. We lean in together and we learn together on pitches, from Manchester United to Liverpool. Thanks, Ash, for bringing those opportunities to our students this year. From Morocco across to Dalian. That's in China. The racetrack, even the rugby pitch, Charlie, thank you for representing with distinction the college. And even today, at an athletics meet on the track, where some serious records were met and established. Different pathways in different contexts. Together, as a community, let's reimagine and let's evolve even a school curriculum that's fit for the future, that can cultivate future-ready learners, taught, coached, mentored to develop passions, interests, and natural gifts. That's our obligation as a college, to do something really special and to prepare our youngsters from a career in the industry of elite sport. Not all of us, but we all come to Brookhouse College. And my son says to me regularly, Dad, you are so lucky to have a job in elite football. I say, Theo, I'm not really in elite football. But you kind of are, Dad. And I've interviewed, this is Theo speaking, some of those students, Hassan, Fawaz, Mr. Williams. He's got those interviews in the can for the Athletic if he ever gets a job in the future. Can I ask you all, who would be in your squad? Who would be the people that you take with you, that you learn from? Your parents, your siblings, those in the local community, your school, and beyond that. How do you establish relationships and build that squad? Who'd be in it? I'd like to do something a little bit different and present 3 colleagues with a little recognition, and I could recognize everybody, but I just want to recognize 3 of our colleagues. I'd like to recognize Lisa in reception in a moment. There's Lisa. Lisa has been packaging away, she's been preparing, she's been responding to I don't know how many emails from the principal about history printouts and other things, consistently representing you as a community, unwrapping Amazon, delivery of Amazon, supporting the reception consistently and constantly. Karen, Mrs. Random, for being a Director of Studies and a constant presence. It's incredible to think that you've led the whole of the exams process with Sophie this year to distinction, as well as doing everything else that's involved in the Director of Studies role. And also Sophie as well, for stepping into different roles and delivering with excellence in every single respect. So a little bit different. Can we give a round of applause to our 3 colleagues? I guess my point is a simple one. We rely on people. People are there for us. Last year, I encouraged our students at Prize Giving to build their purpose, to take responsibility for their own learning and their own development. This Prize Giving celebrates the building of a community, the bonding, the relationships, the cohesion that enables individuals to work and to play together. As we acknowledge individual attainments and achievements in prize giving, we also need to think and learn about incredible team contributions in the context of volunteering, particularly the Duke of Edinburgh Award and the collaborative explorations that so many of our students have been involved in. It really stands out in the Market Harborough community, other schools, and their success with regards to Duke of Edinburgh. We are a beacon. We are a success story. We provide opportunities around volunteering, around skill development, around physical challenge that I'm sure the current government, as it were, and those politicians would recognise as making a contribution, doing something together as a team. The WOHA Group has provided extraordinary lightness and support in the context of mental health, promoting others, supporting each other, and ensuring that we deliver in respect to safeguarding. You're going to hear this evening from those three groups, as well as a special group performance from another very important group of youngsters. This evening, we celebrate the importance of high performance in the context of diversity and inclusion, in the context of shared values to inspire with love, to encourage with time, and to empower with language. I'm personally thrilled to welcome Lawrence Jones as our guest speaker, with the honour of distributing this evening our prizes. We'll hear more from Lawrence in a few moments. The importance of community pervades throughout Market Harbour. Our school is embedded in this town. Why and how do you choose and develop a close community? I suggest firstly it's social cohesion. The town's numerous community groups, clubs and societies provide our residents with opportunities to connect, to share interests and support one another. Events like the Harbour Carnival and the Christmas Fair foster a sense of belonging and pride among residents. These gatherings not only celebrate local traditions, but also create a platform for intergenerational interaction, strengthening the social fabric of our town. I cannot think of more to strengthen that social fabric than Brookhouse College. We are a global community. We enrich the environment and we bring something special every single day, colourful, creative and dynamic to our high street. Secondly, the local economy benefits greatly from strong community spirit. Harbour's independent shops, cafes and markets are the lifeblood of its economy. I want you all to appreciate, from whichever country you come from, the importance of the high street, the importance of retail and hospitality, conviviality, even the pub. The support from local residents ensures that businesses thrive. They are dependent on us, maintaining the town's unique character and providing employment opportunities. Initiatives such as the Harbour Farmers Market, so beloved of Mr. Goodman and a whole variety of us on the staff, promote local produce and craftsmanship, encouraging sustainable shopping practices and boosting the local economy. The successes of these businesses are largely dependent on the loyalty and patronage of the community, illustrating that vital link between community engagement and economic vitality. And lastly, cultural enrichment, which I think we bring at every aspect of the college. It's deeply rooted in the community. The town boasts a rich array of cultural events. An example is the Harbour Arts Festival every September. I'm looking forward to being a big part of that this year, which showcases local talent and attracts visitors. These events not only enhance the cultural landscape, but they foster a sense of pride and identity among residents. Community-led projects, such as the renovation of historical sites and the establishment of community gardens, further enhance aesthetics and historical appeal. Bringing this together, social cohesion, economic prosperity, and cultural richness. That's an obligation of a school as well as a community, and together it's dynamic. The collaborative spirit, the active participation of residents ensures that this town remains both vibrant and welcoming, sustainable and creative. As we celebrate our personal achievements and our collective successes, it's crucial to recognise that these values enable accomplishments and enrich our collective experience. Inclusion and diversity are not buzzwords. They are the bedrock of a thriving community. When we embrace diversity, we invite a wealth of perspectives, of ideas and of innovation. Each person has a part to play, with their unique background, their unique experiences, bringing a tapestry that is dynamic, growing, and not just one thread. It comes together to propel us forward in the sense of homogeneity and change. Inclusion goes hand in hand with diversity. It's not merely enough to have diverse representation. We must ensure that every single voice is heard, is valued, is respected. This is something that the school council this year, thank you primarily to the leadership of Ms. Leah, has done with so much success. Inclusion means creating an environment where everyone feels they belong, where their contributions are recognised, and where they have equal opportunities to succeed. It's about dismantling barriers. It's about building bridges, enabling all of us to participate fully and to flourish. This evening is a testament to what can be achieved when we champion these values. Our awardees and presenters have excelled, not because of their individual talents alone, because they thrived in an environment and often in a team that values inclusion and diversity. They remind us that greatness comes from collaboration, understanding, and mutual respect. As we honour their accomplishments, let us also commit to fostering that sense of culture and upholding those principles. Let us be mindful of the ways that we can support and lift each other up, recognising that our differences are the source of strength and a catalyst for further growth. In doing so, we create a community where everyone has the opportunity to shine, and where the success of one is celebrated as the success of all. These words resonate for me so much when I talk to Mickey. It's not about winning trophies. It's about the development, the growth, and the building of the future by respect for each other. How can we build our community beyond just infrastructure? It's through relationships that we nurture. It's the individuals and the peers that we rely on, particularly in difficult times, and how we creatively reach out to cultivate connections. In a college and as an alumni, those that are moving on, and in the years ahead, we must listen and learn from our teachers, our coaches, our supporters, our mentors, and let's acknowledge their part in your growth in the context of this evening. I want to share with you as I close some lessons, 8 lessons to share that we often learn ourselves quite late in our life, but there's no harm knowing it now. The less you say, the more your words will matter. I need to learn that as much as anybody. Don't take everything personally, for not everyone thinks about you as much as you do. When you focus on problems, you'll have more problems. When you focus on possibilities, you'll have more opportunities. You meet people for a reason. Either you need them to change your life, or you just might be the one that changes theirs. Never be afraid to try something new. Life gets boring when you stay within the limits of what you already know. You will never really know the value of the moment until it becomes a memory. Once you begin to take note of things that you're grateful for, you lose sight of the things that you think you lack. The only person you have to face in the morning is yourself. Be unbeatable. Respect those that have achieved success. Be part of that success and be part of your own personal development and growth towards that success. As we celebrate graduating peers, as they move on to their next stage in the journey, we share with gratitude the contribution of our teachers and our coaches and the whole of our local community. For, as an African proverb tells us, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And in this spirit, let's listen to one of our own. Kamana, would you like to join me on the stage?
Hannah Joseph. I'm the president of the boarding council, a player in the football academy, and a student in this year's graduating class. These last 3 years have been very interesting. I've met people from all over the world and made friendships that will last a lifetime. I came to Burgos in September of 2022. I remember being nervous and excited to take my football to the next level. The first few months were challenging as I had to adjust to a new environment on and off the pitch, but the teachers and coaches were very welcoming. Throughout these 2 years, I've made a lot of memories and had a lot of laughs. From scary movie nights in Union House to game nights, pizza nights, or backyard barbecues, and much more. This school is known for the elite football program, but I could not have done it without Lynette, Rosa, Lucia, and Vicky. Training in a predominantly male academy is harder than people think, and I could not have done it without these 4 girls. But a lot of the boys tried their best to make us feel like we're a part of the team. I have to give a big thank you to all of our coaches for always pushing us to do our best. Throughout my time, I always thought the main priority was to become the best, but over time, the coaches showed us that it's not just about being the best, it's also about building character, fostering teamwork, and developing a strong work ethic. This school would not be the same without Leo. He's always there when we need him and protects us all like we're his own. I'm forever grateful for the things that he has done for me. I would also like to thank Mr. Owens and Lisa for allowing me to express myself whenever I needed to, and for listening to me whenever I needed someone to talk to. I would also like to thank the cleaning staff, kitchen staff, maintenance team, and Nurse Linda for taking care of everyone and ensuring that we had what we needed. They put in a lot of work behind the scenes and go unnoticed, and without them, the school cannot run. Lastly, I would like to wish all the students of this year's graduating class a very successful and prosperous future. And remember to take everything in life one step at a time.
Learning lessons, taking one step at a time. Let's take a step forward now into the next part of this evening's programme, which is the prizes. We'll start off with the prizes for academic performance and progress, and Mrs. Randall will join me at the stage. And this is the bit I need to ask you, Mr. Jones, if you would join us as well on the stage.
Thank you, gentlemen. I will be reading out the prizes for academic subjects. I'll read one for performance and one for progress for each subject. So if you could come up, we can hear your name called, please. Starting off with the maths, we have Promote Amadis.
Yeah, I'm just going to say one thing, and I can make this clear to you, I did promise to Mr. Owens and to Leo that we will have photographs this year at the back, and then we can manage the organisation and the schedule. When we have graduation, however, we'll take photographs.
Okay, moving on now to ICT. We have Boris and Milo. For English, we have Gianluca and Emmanuel. For media studies, we have Freddie and Oscar. For IELTS, we have Fred and John. the Lindsay Webster Award, we have Vincent Trippan. Pre-sectional English, we have Jessica. Biology, we have Martin and Rihanna. For chemistry, we have Jenny and Cole. For physics, we have Fred and Gianluca. For PE, we have Aaron and Ryan. We have Jenny and Hassan. For Spanish, Marco and Alfred. For psychology, we have Lucia and Oscar. For geography, we have Ben and Fawn. For history, we have Doris and Nathaniel. For business, we have Kieran and Cyrus.
Just going to interrupt one moment. Please stay on stage for the moment, because I've been teaching history this year, and I want to recognise Daniel and Boris with a gift. But there's only three of us, so I could not give Kyoko a gift. Kyoko, are you here? Come up on stage.
Business, we have Kieran and for economics, we have Mai and Amy. For law, we have Sai and Nathaniel. For sociology, we have Felicia and Ronan. For our Key Stage 3 Scholar Award, we have Kevin. Cox. For UFP Sport, we have Prosper. For UFP Performance, we have Asadullah. For UFP Progress, we have Yakub and Kimana. HPL Award, which was awarded in London at the House of Lords. We have Tilly, who was here last year, and Maya is going to come and collect her award.
So, in absence, and I look to my C colleague, our previous principal, esteemed Mr. Oliver, so at the front, we represent CEIF, which is the Council for Independent Education. Tilly apologises for not being here. She was with myself and Mrs. Rand in the House of Lords this year, where she received an award to recognise her as an outstanding student. She's currently at Maastricht University on a UN scholarship. She got grade A. She's an outstanding young woman from Vietnam who will be representing her country and Brookhouse College with distinction at Maastricht, and will probably go on to be an ambassador of note. So it's a very special award, and thank you for taking account for it.
And finally, the Paul Kitchener Award for Scholarship goes to Aaron Cox. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Could I, Leo, I'm going to go through these ones if that's okay, and if you can just sort of make sure everybody's here for this one. We now have a presentation, and we want to recognise some of the contribution to a couple of community projects. Firstly, the Duke of Edinburgh, and secondly, our WOHA group this year. So, Mr. Jones, if I could ask you to just stay where you are. If you need to sit down, that's entirely up to you, but if you'd be happy enough to stay, for the students present their work with you. So could I ask Ms. Solly and also Mr. Wiley, if you can join us on the stage, please.
So it's an absolute privilege to be able to assess the Duke of Edinburgh. This year it's bronze and gold. We're halfway through the gold. So some of you have got it next week. Hope you're prepared. And I am going to ask one of our bronze boys to come and give his presentation. So Brian, please.
This one. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Branimir Gyoslev, if you don't know. Whoa, what a year. Standing here tonight as a first year at Brookhouse, receiving this award feels even more special. Coming to a new country and school can be daunting, but the warm welcome I received here made all the difference. Huge thank you to the entire Brookhouse community. You've all been incredibly supportive. A big thank you to the amazing staff who helped me settle in. The patient teachers who explained things twice, and you, Mr. Leo. Of course, my journey wouldn't be complete without mentoring the fantastic coaches of the Football Academy. Their dedication and expertise not only honed my skills on the pitch, but also went far beyond the game. There were some tough moments with busy issues in term 2, but the coaches were there for me every step of the way. Speaking of the incredible support, I have to thank you, my amazing new friends here. I've made friends from all over the world. Some helped me settle in, introduced me to new cultures, and even helped improve my English, which, as you can see, is still a work in progress. Having such a diverse and supportive group of friends has made this year truly unforgettable. This achievement is a symbol of that friendship and the incredible international community we have here at Brook House College. This year wasn't just about academics and football. Taking part in the Duke Fehrenburg Bronze Award was a rewarding experience. Learning map reading, basic first aid, and developing teamwork during the expedition pushed me outside my comfort zone. The entire experience boosted my confidence and self-reliance, which I know will benefit me in all aspects of life. In fact, I'm already looking forward to tackling the Silver Award next year, maybe even becoming a friendly advisory for some of the new participants. Thank you, Mr. Wright and Ms. Sole. Thank you again to everyone who has been a part of my journey this year. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to be a student and a footballer at Brook House College. I look forward to seeing you all again in September.
If I could invite also Slavi, Alex, and Kalyan, please. To receive us.
It was my privilege to take a group of students to London Business School earlier on this year. And today we sent, thank you Lisa again, on time, on deadline, this is the WOHA Wings of Hope Achievement Award scrapbook of their work that they've been involved in supporting mental health and illuminating and lighting up the issue of welfare for all of us in our community. I'm going to invite Amy to come up onto the stage to say a few words about that project, but I'm hopeful that they'll be invited to the House of Lords on the 20th of June to describe their project to a very, very distinguished group and potentially be rewarded for their work that they've been involved in this year. However, many of us in this room bought a pizza. If you didn't buy a pizza, you should have done, and there'll be the opportunity of buying one in the coming weeks to further support Amy and her team and the project that is she leading at the moment. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amy. I'm the leader of the WOHA Fireflies team. And today I'll represent Team Fireflies and summarize what we have done during the year. So firstly, WOHA is an organization established with the purpose of giving unlucky children in India and Malawi opportunities that a child should have to study and to develop. Because we believe that it was the lack of child support, not poverty, that killed their dreams. We give likeness to children who are in darkness, like what Fireflies do. We also deliver positive messages of mental health in order to remind you to care more about your feelings, your emotions, and yourself. By doing that, many fundraising events were organized inside the schools to spread our messages to students. The Christmas card event during Christmas was to encourage everyone to write wishes to their beloved ones, and we also sold some of our Christmas cards to the teachers and staff. After that was the meaningful Eternity Roses to teachers in Brookhouse on Teachers' Day, and the Flowers to Flowers event for women on International Women's Day to appreciate people for their amazing effort. And during Mental Week, we also made 20 posters about mental health codes to mentally support our community, because we believe that it's okay to not be okay.
And it's okay to feel negative sometimes because at the end of the day, we're humans with emotions. And we completely have the right to spread our story or to keep in our heart. And we can spread it to people we truly believed in and we truly feel comfortable in. And also in March, Fireflies and some students from Brook House had a wonderful chance to take part in the speed mentoring event by WOHA at London Business School. There we met a lot of talented people from many fields of career and learned many things from the expert. And we would like to give a special thanks to Mr. Smith, Miss Lucy Clark, and the footballers Maddie, Connor, Sai, and Oscar for joining the event in London with us and helping us spread our messages to a wider community. However, moreover, with the help of the Brook House staff and the DOF students, Lucia, Smarty, and Moldy, delicious banana cakes were made and given to students as the night dessert during lunch. And here comes to the most exciting one, our biggest fundraising event so far, Pizza Party Night. Pizza with a Purpose has also succeeded with around 35 pizzas sold, with mental health inspiring cards, and we ended up earning hundreds of pounds for children. Getting every project done successfully is not only our hard work, but it's also the support from everyone. Today, representing Team Fireflies and all people from WOHA organization, thank you everyone from the bottom of my heart for all of your support and contribution to our success. And we would like to see you again in our future project, and I would like to give a special thanks to Ms. Lisa for always printing out my poster on time, Chef Lee for helping us do our pizza night successfully, and Mr. Leo for delivering the pizzas for us. Thank you so much.
Can I just now, I don't know if we're all here, I know that Arthur isn't here, but could we have the remaining members of the WOHA group, if you could just join us on the stage now, that would be appreciated. So come on to the stage now, please. Ask somebody to join as well because he helped and contributed to the organisation of the pizza event. But whilst doing the Duke of Edinburgh, many of the youngsters that are in front of you here facilitated WOHA. WOHA can be accredited for the Duke of Edinburgh Award for the community part, so there's a connection between the two, and there's absolutely no reason that we can't be inspired by your efforts. And in the spirit of Muhammad Yunus, actually organise small, focused social businesses throughout the college on different tasks throughout next year. So I want this to be the beginning of something very, very special for the college with regards to Wings of Hope and the organisation that you've been involved in. You have received together an award which we're going to give to you a little bit later on in the context of the House of Lords. It's called the #136 Award, and it recognises all of our needs at different times to reach out, to have that opportunity of expressing when times are good and when times are not so good. So in the spirit and recognition of Dom, who passed last year, we applaud your efforts and look forward to how you inspire others to be part of the work that you've begun and cultivated and sown at Brook House. Can we give them a round of applause? I'm going to ask now for Mr. Owens just to join me on the stage, just to help me with Mr. Owens, by the way, has just got back from sports athletics meet. I'm going to ask him, just before we do the community prizes and awards, just to give us a flavour, if you would, of today. All right, been on the spot, Mr. Owens, but I know that you enjoyed it, and I think we should recognise as well all of the work that in particular Mr. Phillipson has done and Mr. Meadows has done to organise the event today. Mr. Owens, you've not got a speech prepared, okay, but if you'd be kind.
So very quickly, hopefully by now you'll have heard some very positive feedback from your peers about the athletics event that we had this morning. It really was very good, and I think we were all very encouraged and surprised by some of the extraordinary times. No, Fred, not you. Time and jumps. We had some really good times. 100 meters. Special mention to Shitu and Hassan, who raced in their race, and it was a very quick race. 11:30 for Shitu, and Hassan did 11:40. We had a very good high jump from Cohen, 1.65. Umar, incredibly quick from key stage 3. Marvelous, 13 meters in the shot put, but it was all good. And we want to build on this for next year. We want to make sure that more and more people come, more people showcase their skills. We've also been talking about entering to more competitions as well, and I know Callum is very keen to support that. From his side, it's a passion of his, cross country and athletics. So we're going to make that work for next year. But today, fantastic. Thank you for all your efforts. Thank you for the FA coaches coming up and helping, and thank you for Mr. Meadows and Mr. Phillipson for all the organisation. It was brilliant.
It's not just about winning. It's not just about holding a trophy. One of my only concerns I have with football, and it's my only concern, really, is when teams don't win and they don't want to wear that silver medal or that coming second. Because I have the spirit inside me of the Olympics, and sometimes bronze is as important as a silver, as a gold. And I think we should be proud through participation. I think you should be proud because of behaviour. I think you should be proud because you inspire others, whether you win or whether you lose. And that's what came across from what Ash was saying to me about Dali and also Mr. Owens. It was the behaviour of you all. That was something from Morocco as well. You stood on a world stage, carried yourself, and displayed the kind of behaviours that inspire other people to behave like you. So there's many today that are going to pass on to the next stage of their learning, and potentially to football contracts, and certainly to be working in the industry that grows and grows and grows around football and elite sport. So we recognise today now some of our highlights with regards to community. Sorry, Smaddy, I'm going to ask you to come back to the stage again. So for the first of the prizes of community for resilience and dedication, commitment to Duke of Edinburgh, par excellence. Smaddy. Thank you. We have other sports. So I'd like to invite 2 elite sportsmen to our stage. Mr. Owens is an elite cricketer and rugby player. He's not a footballer. I think as well, gymnastics and athletics. Isn't it gymnastics? I thought you did. I thought you was. Okay. So a couple of sporting awards. Firstly, for racing around that track. Turn. Come and join us on the stage, please. It's an absolute thrill. I know, Mr. Oliver, you'll agree with me that the contribution that Turn's made. This is managing Formula 3 from 4, going up and up and up. I don't know how courageous and how skilled you have to be to drive one of those cars. But Turn, thank you for everything that you've done to inspire others and your success. Charlie, come up and recognise you represented your local and national team in rugby playing at Welland Park. Welford Road, I was going to get that wrong. Welford Road, well done, Charlie. Even I know there's a big difference between Welland Park and sorry about that. And we now have from Mr. Leo 3 prizes for contribution and commitment to the values of boarding. Kamut, if you would join us, please, on stage. Thank you. Can I ask Shitu to join us on our We had an assembly, give me one moment, we had an assembly about 6 months ago where you accompanied all the girls back, you did this with the instruction staff, but you accompanied all the girls back to Union. And you did that out of goodness of your heart. And then you were a little bit late getting back because you had to do that function. And we respect that, we appreciate that. Thank you for that. And for many other aspects of your contribution to boarding, Mr. Leo recognises you publicly for your behaviour, your values, and the way that you work in our community as a board. Thank you, Shitu. And then finally, can I invite Kimana to our stage as well? Not only the president of our school council, our boarding council, but recognised for her contribution to our community. We have now 3 principals awards. First one is for creativity and curiosity, and that goes to Amy. Thank you. Thanks, Amy. In difficult times, you have to stand up. Sometimes you have to represent your peers. You even have to go to the principal and say, we need to do things differently. Goethe, can you join us on the stage, please, and recognise your award for leadership? It's the most extraordinary footballer and also a man of distinction who's representing his peer group on many occasions in different ways. Contribution to the community goes to Smaddy. And finally, an award that recognises the Directors' Fellowship. It's for all-round leadership and contribution to values across the college, demonstrating contributions to support younger peers. He's a goalkeeper who I think encapsulates so many of the values of protection and support. I saw a wonderful post from Thomas just this morning with our goalkeepers celebrating the end of a year. Nathaniel, can you come up, please? Okay, we're now going to move to a next part of the prize giving, which is to listen to the words of our guest speaker, Lawrence Jones. Lawrence, thank you for being here this evening and sharing in the awarding of prizes. You asked me if rather than do a talk, I could ask you some questions. I wanted to have 2 microphones to that effect. I've got 1 microphone, so I'm going to go on that side. So I'm going to ask you to come across onto this side. Of course. Maz,
come down here, please. Can't sit. All right.
as the box from wood, you have to put it in
Just before you answer any questions, we'll get on to ladies and gentlemen. It's quite humbling for me to be here, actually, because, well, 50 years next year, I left school back in the 70s. And I think I told my teachers that one day I'll be stood in front of such a talented, young, vibrant audience that is shaking their heads in disbelief. So, because I'm the boy who left school with nothing, occasions, and I've managed to get a career that's been absolutely wonderful. And some of the words that Ian has used in his address this afternoon has really captivated. It is about community, it is about respect, it is about being honest with yourself and with others. And it's about driving a pathway and having a clear vision as a human being as to what you want and what you can deliver. The one message before I go into the questions with Ian, as I say to all of you, is an amazing privilege for this town to have this college here. And you are part of this community. You are really valued in this community. And we're very privileged and really welcome you with all our hearts. Ian.
Okay, so these are questions from the student body, and I think they encapsulate. There are other curry houses, but we went to the Avatar. And we discussed a little bit about this tool. So let's reflect on the following questions. The first two questions, I'll put them in pairs, but the first two questions are, I'll remind you, you've got 45 seconds. You haven't answered joke that nobody will get politics. Can you tell us what inspired you to follow a career in football? And then perhaps guide us to how you became involved with Harbour Town Football Club. What inspired you?
Well, I come from the generation that continually dines out on England winning the World Cup in 1966. Because I'd have been 6 or 7 at that stage. And that set my pathway for life because I'm a football nut. I'm passionate about the game. I was a pretty rubbish player. I was a half decent referee. Mickey has a different view, but I think I was a half decent referee. And I just fell in love with the game. And football has been the golden thread in my life. Everything I've done in my life, I can track back to football. All the skills I've learned, all the things I've achieved, football played a role somewhere in that. And so I'm incredibly privileged to have a lifelong journey. In fact, I think next year will be my 6th decade in the game. Because I started kicking the ball when I was 6, and those footballs had laces. They were very heavy when they got wet, and the football boots weren't like today's football boots. So it's been an amazing journey. So that's what inspired me to get into the game here. How did I get involved in Harbour Town? Well, that's down to this lady down here because Maz and I became partners, and I moved to Market Harbour, and one day she said, "Could you come and look at our football club? I think we've got a problem." And I did have a problem, being very honest with you. And so we started on a vision, and that vision has been paramount to the success of the Brookhouse International Football Club. And I'm going to take a minute to pay tribute to Giles with his vision and what he's done, because the relationship between the football club and the college is absolutely unique. And I'm ever so proud of it. I'm ever so proud of the elite football academy that you've created and made Harbour Town your home. And I'm very proud because I'm not totally convinced the club would have achieved all that it's achieved in the last 10 years if Charles and I hadn't spent quite a few nights in Avatar talking about football and how we could bring the two things together. Because there is a common thread between the two things, Ian. It is community. We have 1,000 children at Harbour Town Football Club. That's not bad for a town that's got a population of about 30,000. And they see all of you, and they see the standards of football that you're providing, and that inspires them. Running concurrent with that is our own success at the football club. And I really do think the two, either indirectly or directly, are linked. Harbour Town is a little market town in the middle of England that no one knew had a football team 10 years ago. I'm incredibly proud of this football club now. And there's 18,000 clubs in England. And that includes your Liverpools, your Leicesters, your Manchester Uniteds. We're in the top 250 clubs out of 18,000. That is an incredible achievement for a football club in a little market town in the middle of England. And so the journey's been really exciting. But the support we've had from Brookhouse, particularly Giles and his family, throughout that 10 years has been nothing short of remarkable. And I will take this opportunity to thank him.
last year was actually a football forum that we organised. Look forward to it next year, where we can share expertise as a community. One of the low points in the last few weeks, and I know that both Ash and Mr. Owens have already left the country at this stage, when it was very difficult to play football at Harbour Town because of a number of individuals that had, let's say, camped on your facility for a window of time. And I know that you were instrumental in resolving that potential difficulty for both the college and our participation. We were playing football within 24 hours of your facility, which was incredible. Can I ask you to look back on your career and perhaps share some of those highs and some of those lows? Now, I want to hear more about that football. I do want to hear about the old Chelsea, the old West Ham, the old Mickey Adams. Tell us more about some of the highs and lows of refereeing and linesman of career football.
It's one thing I'd say to all the students, actually, if you get a chance to be a referee, grab it. It's not just about refereeing football matches and all that happens in football matches. It's about the skills it will bring you as a person that will stay with you during your life. Those skills can be about managing conflict, leadership, how you communicate, how you administrate your life, how you structure your life. So refereeing for me was one of the best times of my life. It's no different than being a player. You're a long time watching in football. And I had 20 fantastic years as a referee. And I'm incredibly privileged because I only ever expected to referee on the local parks, and at that time I lived in Bournemouth. I think I was reasonably good, as I said earlier on. I progressed through to quite a reasonable level of officiating in this country. In fact, ran the line on the Football League and things like that. I guess my high points will always, the big games will always be a high point. You know, there's no better than walking out in front of 30 or 40,000 people. It does make the hairs go on the back of your neck, particularly if you really care about the game. I had a few of those in my time. I've been crucified on TV. That was a low point. Made the odd mistake as an official and made one too many probably, so I got crucified. But the high points for me aren't just about the actual green stuff. It is part of it. But the high points for me is about how it's helped me be a person. It's how sport, because sport is the most powerful gift we have on this planet. Football is my sport, but it doesn't matter what sport it is. Not because it gives you individual skills, it shapes you as a person. It teaches you the good, perhaps the not so good, and helps you balance that out. But it's the best way to create friendships, create relationships, and be important in your community. Whatever your community is, and we all got different communities, sport can be the glue in that. And wherever your journeys take you in life and around this world, never forget that. Use sport to help you. Because sport actually is running a football team, but it's no really different than running a team in an office. You're looking for the same skills. You don't want 11 players all who do the same thing. You want to bring groups of people together who have got different skills. So never, ever underestimate the power of sport, because it is the most powerful thing in the world. And we live in a very challenging world. We all know that. And sport is one of the ways we can soften some of those challenges. And we should all embrace that. We all have a responsibility and a duty to embrace it. And whilst the Academy at Brookhouse is an elite academy, and we all aim to be elite in what we do, there are different levels of elite. That can be elite in terms of what skills you have and what talent you have. There's also the elite about how you treat people, how you respect people, the role you play in your community. These are all skills that you will learn on your journey through life. Ian, you made a comment earlier on about you learned some skills very late. I've learned some skills very late. If I had the knowledge I have now 30 or 40 years ago, I'm sure I would have made some different decisions. So that piece of assessment or continuous reassessment of what you do as an individual is part of the journey you need to be on.
However, I think you officiated between West Ham and Chelsea.
I have.
Ian Wright. I think that this season with Mickey had a very, very interesting window.
Well, Mickey actually contributed to the end of my refereeing career, not him personally, but he was actively involved because I was running the line on a local derby between Brighton and Southampton on the infamous 9/11 day. And despite what Mickey might say, I was reasonably fit in those days. Don't look at me now, but I wasn't those days. But my kiddies went at half time. And that was the last Football League match I did. And Mickey was in the dugout with Brighton, and giving me the pearls of his advice, which I took on board. And so Mickey and I passed a few times in my career, and it's so I was lucky. The low points for me, I try really hard in life not to focus on low points. To be really honest, I think low points can be a real energy sapper. We can all spend too much time worrying about low points. The one thing is for sure, everyone in this room is going to have a low point somewhere. Sorry, guys, you are, because we all have low points. That's being in the real world. It's how you manage those low points, and it's how you come out of those low points. And I always think a low point is an opportunity in disguise. So it's how you pick up that. If you want me to name a low point, I was pretty upset when I left AFC Bournemouth. I was chief executive at AFC Bournemouth for a couple of years at my club that I've supported since I was 5 years old, and that was a sad day for me. But life bounces back up, and very interestingly for me, the lessons I learned at AFC Bournemouth, I tried to encourage people to adapt and adopt at Harbour Town. And I like to think that the little bit I've done at Harbour Town has helped the club progress to where it is through that knowledge I've had of working in the programme. So out of low points come good. And a high point for me, obviously, was Harbour Town winning promotion at the end of last season. I stood up in a room like this, really, with an audience of this size 10 years ago, and said this club could get to step 3, which is the level we're now playing at, and people laughed at me. And actually, we've done it. So from my point of view, I'm a very happy person because I've delivered what I said the club could achieve. But I haven't delivered it personally. We've got a team of people, and then this lady here, this is Harbour Town. She might have lots of people around her doing things, but this lady here works 100 hours a week, which she gets paid for about a third of those. She's known by everybody in this town as part of Harbour Town, and this is what being in community is about ladies like that.
And final 2 questions. Because I know as a pioneer for women's football, not only in Harbour, but in Leicestershire at the national level. So looking back, in what ways has football changed for the best?
Well, football is a global phenomenon now. Everybody's aspiring to go as far as the fame and talent go. But I think there's different layers of football. I think if you look at the game as a whole in this country, we've got better facilities now than we've ever had. We've got more people playing football than we've ever had. You know, would you believe that the FA had a ridiculous rule that women couldn't play football? It wasn't that long ago. How ridiculous. The women's game is booming. I'm incredibly proud of the English Football Association. Incredibly proud. What we've achieved in the last 25 years, that's the time I've worked for the FA and the county FAs, has been nothing short of remarkable. We've changed the face of football. Football in this country back in the 80s and 90s was in a really grim place. Really grim place. Football today is booming. And it's a safe environment, or a safer environment. The elite game in this country is booming. The Premier League, without any shadow of doubt, is the finest league on the planet. You can see that. But the good news for our level of the game is because of the Premier League, and this goes very, very much unnoticed, the Premier League pump an awful lot of money into grassroots football. And without that money, a lot of the things we are able to do in grassroots football now, we wouldn't be able to do. So it doesn't all go in one direction. You know, I always say to everybody who works for the FA, when you get to the top of the steps at the Wembley Park Tube Station, you look down Wembley Way, and you see where you're going to go to work. If you're not proud, you shouldn't be working at the FA. As simple as that, right? So football's in a really, really good place here. It's booming in this country, right across England, in every part of England. And it will continue to do so. And the work you do here at Brookhouse, through your academy, bringing in a global community, is part of that football family. And that's why this is so precious. Because we have a unique opportunity in this town where we do have established a half-decent football club with an exceptional grassroots football facility. And one of our absolute part of our family is Brookhouse International Football Academy. And I really want to emphasise that word. This isn't about a partnership. This is a family. We were a partnership. We've grown. We're now a family. That's really important.
And then a final question for you. If you were writing a couple of post-it notes to your younger self, what would they say?
I've been thinking about that question, and it's quite a complex question to answer, so I could take up a bit of time, but I'm going to. I think for me personally, it is self-belief. One of the things I've developed as I got older is a self-belief. When I was the age of many of the people in this room, I really lacked that self-belief. I couldn't have stood up here and done this. I couldn't do the job I'm doing. I couldn't have refereed a football match because I actually didn't believe in myself. And self-belief is different to self-confidence. Self-belief is about your makeup. It's about what your values are as a person, what you stand for as an individual. That's self-belief. And I think if you go through life with strong self-belief and a determination to deliver your vision, your own personal vision, what you want to achieve as an individual, what your aim is. And you will have some bumps. Life is full of bumps. It's how you deal with those bumps and how you kick on towards what you want to achieve. That's probably what I'd be saying to myself. I'd be saying to myself, I should have had that probably 30 or 40 years ago, and not as I reached the rare high age that I am now.
Well, you're going to have the opportunity of sharing some of that awareness and that joy of football with our community. So I would like us now to move to the next section with you, which is our Football Academy Awards. That's a very, very prestigious annual part of our prize giving. I'm now going to do something a little bit different and a little bit great. I don't get the stage big enough. I don't know who's going to hold all of us. But can I have every single member of the Guardian squad, please, to join me and Lawrence on our stage now, please. We're going to do this. All perfect team photo to celebrate our At this point, I'm going to invite you on stage, and if you want to just go on the side action where the microphone is, and Mr. Jones, you want to come up to the side, and I think grab a photo of you now. Put you on the side, away, and on the other side. I show it to you for the next section.
Me, right. This won't really be about me. This will be about this wonderful looking group of young men up here who represented the college fantastically well out in China, not only with their footballing performance, but with the way they conducted themselves, whether that was through the airport on very long, arduous flights, or whether that was around the facilities in the hotel, in the fun zone that was there for us to access, or whether that was in front of cameras, microphones, and interviews that they all had to partake in. So all I'm going to do is try and ask a couple of questions for some people to step forward and give us a little bit of an insight as to what the event looked like from their point of view. It was a fantastic achievement for us to finish 7th overall.
Performance-wise, we probably outdid ourselves and left absolutely everything out on the pitch, which is all we ever asked as a coaching team. The event was an absolutely incredible event that we were incredibly proud of to be able to take part in. So I'm just going to invite a couple of people to step forward and just give us a little bit of an insight into some aspects of the trip. So, no problem. So Shitu is going to step forward and tell us a little bit about the facilities that were accessed while we were out in China.
The facilities were great. Coaches were all fine. The facilities were great. The football pitches were all high quality grass pitches, which we all enjoyed to play on. The hotel was amazing. We had 3 people in each room, and the hotel food was also amazing. We had the fun zone that we went to during our free time. We met a lot of people from different countries, and we all enjoyed playing the games. The fun zone had for us. Thank you.
I think the facilities has probably been a little bit undercooked there. So to have access to 11 outstanding grass pitches, as well as 2 full-size indoor pitches, 60,000 seat stadium with 25,000 people welcoming us to the opening ceremony. A nice plush hotel, which we've tried our best to take care of, with pools and jacuzzis and all sorts. So it's underplayed. The facilities a little bit there, but thank you for that. Freddie, can you tell us a little bit about the welcome that we received from the delegates out in China?
Right from the first minute we landed in the airport, there was people high-fiving us and asking us to sign things for them or take photos with them. We got a police escort from the airport straight to the hotel and almost everywhere we went. And there was always someone waiting outside the hotel for us to sign the shirt for them.
Fred, the event organisers, helpers that they had were absolutely amazing. Made us feel, I'm sure the lads felt the same, incredibly special, incredibly professional, and gave us a real insight into what it looked like to compete in such an elite event. Andres, if you would mind stepping forward and tell us a little bit about some of the cultural aspects that we.
Yeah. You can imagine Chinese culture is so different to ours, but we managed to explore new things, especially in the city center in Dalian. We tried new food, especially street food. We actually did some activities with the ISF staff. We played painting. It was just whatever we wanted to paint. We did Tai Chi, right? It was a Chinese martial art class. There was also the Nations Night, which every country exposed the small bits of their culture, giving like candy or an explanation of their traditions. Thank you.
We also did a short performance on stage, so if you wouldn't mind starting the music, I think we'll go again. That's probably best forgotten anyway. Next up, if Cohen wouldn't mind stepping forward and talking through the actual event, the football matches that we took part in and the competition itself.
So we were in a group of 5, Saudi, Uganda, Hungary, and New Zealand, and then us. We opened up the tournament playing against Hungary. Playing against Hungary. We played well, won the game 4-1 to start the competition off. Then we came up against New Zealand. That was probably the toughest game of the group. We knew they were going to be a good game. All the team fought hard throughout minute 1, but the last minute when Ray scored with a bit of magic. That put us 6 points from 2 games, which is a good start. And then
the next couple games we won against Saudi and Uganda, which put us then through to the 1-8. So we're playing 1-8 now, and then we came up against Uganda 2. They're a very strong team, physical and technically. They were very good. Unfortunately, they did get the better of us, being us 2-1. Playing them from 5th to 8th. Played against Turkey. I don't think we should talk about that game, but you can check and match me in the score of that. We did lose. So we played 7th place last game against China. We left everything on the pitch in our last game. We went up in the game, we went down, and then we got the lead back. And then the last minute, Mr. Owens then got involved. and it's a good ending to the tournament. Yeah. We won, keep 7th place.
Just to add to that, some of the teams that we came up against were incredibly strong. Cohen's mentioned Turkey there, who were probably the under-19s of Trabzonspor out of Turkey, so they were a really strong outfit. I think what was pleasing for us was the opportunity to play against different styles, different ways of playing, different makeups of squads, whether that was some of the African teams, whether that was the Middle Eastern teams, and the difference in the way that teams played is a valuable learning lesson for this group of players. Si, if you wouldn't mind just wrapping up and giving us your take on the overall experience of the event, that would be great.
Yeah, so just to summarize, the group as a whole from the beginning, from the get-go, we weren't really sure what to expect. It's a new country, and not many of us had really been to China before. So from the beginning, we didn't know what was going to happen in transfers from airports to different hotels and how we were going to get from place to place. However, it made for an exciting experience for everyone as they were excited about how to find out about everything. In the 2 weeks, we experienced life pretty much as a team throughout China and a different lifestyle in a different part of the world, on and off the pitch in different aspects. From on the pitch, the pitches were all grass, very high level facilities, and off the pitch, something we all very much miss are the prices of things in shops. So everything would be 5-10p for an ice cream bar or water. I would say that there are definitely many new memories made within the group, as well as the coaching staff. And we made a lot of individual memories as well, some people did. And it made for an enjoyable trip, which anyone would, if we were all given the opportunity to again, I think everyone would say they would take that chance. And it would make for a very diverse and valuable experience. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely fantastic event, which it was a privilege to be a part of. The lads really did do themselves, their families, and the college proud with the way they perform and the way they represent themselves on and off the pitch. The trophy right. So first of all, before we announce the player of the tournament from the coach's point of view, I just wanted to point out that the lads created their own award while we were there. And all had a vote as to who they thought their player of the tournament was. So just a little round of applause, please, for Victoria. In terms of the award for the player of the tournament, from our point of view, it was really tough to decide upon one player. It was a long and hard debate between the coaching staff. But overall, after some fantastic performances, not only in the group games, but towards the latter stages, especially when things got tough, our award goes to Cohen. Massive well done to everybody. Thank you so much for all the support from the parents, from the school, from the staff, and the coaches that attended the event. It was thoroughly worthwhile, and I'm sure will live long in the memory for everybody involved.
Can I
I ask Mickey to come and join us onto the stage here? A genuine legend of football, your house.
We've got some individual awards for some players in the Football Academy for the season and the year just gone. Before we get to that, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everybody, staff, players, parents, for welcoming me into this college from starting in January. It's been an honour to work with you all. It's a fantastic experience to work with such talented players from all over the world, where you have shared the way that you play the game, the way that you learn, and challenge those as coaching staff and as teaching staff to ensure that we're putting on the best provision possible. I'd just like to highlight a couple of key things that have happened throughout the year that have been really successful. So we had an incredible international tournament in April where we managed to win the event with the under-19s, playing against teams from all over Europe, as well as some of the strongest teams in the UK. We've managed to visit some top clubs this year, including Manchester United and Liverpool. We've had players that have been in clubs for trials and training experiences that have done fantastically well. And I'm sure that there's many of the things that I haven't mentioned. Most importantly, I'd like to wish everybody leaving the college all the best and good luck in the future. And I just hope that this experience of being in this type of environment where you're striving to be the most elite version of yourself you possibly can do has had many of the side effects that will set you up well for life. So thank you and well done to everybody who's been involved. We'll move on to the individual awards. I'll read 2 awards out at a time, similar to the academic awards. If you wouldn't mind coming up, collecting your trophy and a precious handshake off Mr. Jones and Mickey, that would be fantastic. So we'll start with the PDP and YDP players of the season. For the PDP is Aaron Cox. YDP, we have Pop. Next, we have the female player of the year, which is Lucia, and the golden glove, which is Jay. Next, we have the top goal scorer, which was a tight affair, but managed to go to Vaughan in the end. Student athlete, which is performance across academic and football, which is Boris. Well done, Boris. And the final 2 awards, most improved, which is Dalu. The Players Player Award, which was voted by all the participants in the FA Academy. Bauer. I'd just like to finish with a massive thank you to everybody, Giles and the family, for creating such a fantastic environment that gives so much opportunity to people all over the world that just want to come here and learn and educate themselves, as well as push on to be the best possible footballer you can be. I think it's a fantastic setup, and no doubt will be many more success stories to talk about in the future. Well done.
At this point, I would just like to recognize and say thank you to our, before we have our final piece, which is our graduation, I'd like to say a thank you on behalf of the student body to our guest speaker, Mr. Lawrence Jones. What we've got here is a water bottle, because we think that's very helpful and important. It's a more water bottle, there's no normal water bottle. And also, and by the way, this is a big shout out to our local pharmacy and the community. Great work for us this year. Seriously, actually, they are great work. From one legend to another. Vicky, would you please pass this legend to a legend? Thank you. Okay, we are now closing. We're on exactly 90 minutes, so my timing awry a little, but not too bad. We are very close. We've got a director's address from our esteemed managing director, and I'd like to take this opportunity to express my appreciation for the leadership that Mr. Williams has displayed with Mrs. Williams and our board of directors and advisory board throughout the course of this academic year. It's been a challenging year. Wow. We've got an election going on. Migration, immigration, movement of labour, freedom of movement, opportunity, young people. It's all over the place at the moment in terms of the press. But what I've heard this evening is how precious and how important Brookhouse College is to the local community, the national context, and globally. It's a shining diamond, one that needs to be polished and nurtured and cared for. The origin of that dream came from the Williams family, and we celebrate that every prize giving in the context of our work, and particularly tomorrow when we have a very special football game. So I'd like to invite Mr. Williams to the stage, and then we are going to list the students that are going to come up and have a photograph taken. So there's the nod at the back there. We're going to invite you to come up in fours, and this year we're going to have the non-football academy first, and then the football academy second to receive their certificates. In each of the folders that are here, there is a letter personally from Mr. Williams to you all, signed by directors. There is a certificate to recognise the completion of your programme. Every single one of you, congratulations for progressing right the way through year 12 and year 13. And there is from the Football Academy a certificate that I would keep for a very long time, signed off by Mickey and by Ash, to recognise as professionals the quality of your performance and your development. When you get something like that that's signed by an elite manager and somebody of great significance in the world of football, you've got a relationship there with him for the rest of your life. Which ones of you will actually develop and build that relationship with Mickey, with Mr. Williams, with Lawrence? Because these are friends that are with you to support you through your career ahead. That's the point of my talk, to develop a community, to build a community and go through life, not just from one stage to the next and forgetting what has gone before, but building upon your experiences here at Brookhouse College as alumni. I say that to parents as well, because I welcome you as alumni of the college. We've all made a stake and an investment in the welfare and development of the youngsters in front of us today. So this is our graduation part. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Williams to the stage. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Good evening, everybody. First and foremost, it's lovely to see so many parents here. I know pride is one of the 7 deadly sins, but this evening you really should be proud of your children, grandchildren, for what they've achieved and for what they've achieved at Brookhouse. It's nice to see so many former students back as well. A pleasure to be with you this evening. And thank you for your support on an ongoing basis of the college. It's been great to talk to you this week. Always appreciate feedback, always appreciate input, dialogue. It's so important. The Dalian insight was very useful, and Lawrence has advised those of you in the football academy to maybe try refereeing one day. My advice would maybe be slightly different to that. I would say go on tour. I lost count. I've been on football, golf, rugby. There's a reason that they say what goes on tour stays on tour, and keep that group mentality that you build by being away. The friendships that you make, they truly will last forever. Lawrence, thanks for those kind words. Probably a bit misty-eyed there. Thank you so much for all you do for the college. There's a little bit of the promotion story that Lawrence has missed out, actually. And I'm going to tell it because it highlights what an amazing guy he is. So I met Lawrence, and at this point, nobody in Market Harbour knew, apart from him and a few others, that due to a slight administrative mess up, they'd actually been docked 6 points. Now, a lot of you footballers, you know what it's like, right? You think you're going to win the league, you've lost 6 points due to an admin error. Everybody in the whole club is going bananas. Okay, as soon as they're finding out, Ireland's shouting people. There was one person who was calm, reasonable, balanced, looked after the players, looked after the manager. Serene, calm. You know, I don't know how, from a manager's point of view, serene, calm, maybe not. But Lawrence was able to handle that setback. And I had such respect for how he held the club together when, frankly, people were losing their minds left, right, and centre, and players were angry. But these things happen. It's a mistake. So actually, they got promoted twice, which is pretty remarkable. And when it's a Step 3 club now, who knows? You know, let's dream. Let's dream. League 3, League 2. Maz, I cannot speak more highly enough about as a person, as a coach, as a partner. And I'm so grateful for everything you do for Brook House. I'm so grateful for everything you do for my family. And it's no exaggeration to say that no one's indispensable, but she's about as indispensable as you get to being indispensable. So it's not. I'm so pleased. I know you're coming. I'm so pleased that you come. I just want to pay a little tribute to a friend of mine who has actually achieved something really remarkable. And about 9 months ago, a football agent called Emeka Abassi, who some of you may know, he's the agent for Bukayo Saka. He's been the agent for Ademola Lookman, Ola Aina, sort of who's in the Premier League in many ways. He approached me with the idea of bringing a group of children to the UK, and Emeka's a boy from South London, ended up being a scout at Fulham, got into player management, and we had a dinner in Stamford where myself and Mickey went, and we made this plan to bring these boys to the UK to give them some exposure. Now, this entire exercise has been sponsored by Mr. Abassi. Okay, and these boys have arrived. They've been an absolute credit to Emeka, to the college, to themselves, and I'm sure on behalf of all of us here, these children probably wouldn't have had this opportunity without Mr. Abassi. And as he put it on Instagram, I don't even think he's got an Instagram account. He never does interviews. But quietly, he's helped a group of Nigerian children, West African children, to come and enjoy everything that Brook House has got to offer. And what I'm going to do is actually, their coach, unfortunately, can't be with them tonight because the most attentive man and the most diligent man in the world has gone off to a wedding of his mate. So, and can't play in the game tomorrow on account of that knee, the same as Ash's never got back. It's like getting out of the car. These boys are an absolute tribute. And I just want to, all of you, some of you will have played with them, some of you will have trained with them, some of you will know the opportunities that may lie ahead for them. But they're humble, they're honest, they're hardworking, they put a smile on my face every time I talk to them. And I'm going to give them all a certificate now. So can I invite to the stage
Mustafa Sarr, Honor Moses Sunday, Stanley Ogbonna, Kenneth Anthony, Victor, Francis Tamadou, Light. Good luck. Good luck. Appreciate it. Mr. Rabatz is not here tonight with us, but a huge thanks. He doesn't like the limelight much, but I'm sure he will be taking keen interest, not all of us, in your future. And as we say, it's a project that we've put a lot of time and energy in, and I just wish you both all the best. It's a part of the Brookhouse story, what we try to do, the support we try to give people, how we try to help people develop. And when I see children getting 3A grades and going to Maastricht University on scholarship, when I see Turn being one of the most promising racing drivers in the world, when people say to me, "Oh, Brookhouse is a football school," I kind of laugh at them, to be honest, because I think we're a bit more than that. When I look at Wohar, when I look at everything that we do. So a few brief thanks. Will be brief, promise. Ladies and gentlemen, so thank you on behalf of my mother and I, to all the college staff, tremendous effort and support this year in providing the opportunities that they have done for the students. Thanks to Ian Smith, who with his excellent leadership team has led the college with vigour, innovation and kind consideration. Mark Lunn, who supported the college's delivery of offering with steadfastness and determination, at the same time effortlessly juggling many operational needs and requirements. Ashley Boyle joined the Football Academy mid-year, quickly shown, we definitely picked the right person at the interview for a start, but quickly showed his dedication, commitment and ability in augmenting the sports provision in which the college excels. Wally Wright never comes up here. No, it's probably on the video. Continues to lead a fantastic summer school whilst wearing lots of other hats and scarves and gloves in promoting the Duke of Edinburgh programme. Advisory board, Lawrence, Leighton, Mike Oliver, who provide counsel, positive challenge in shaping our ethos and aspirations. My mother, Jo, my mum will be 80 in September. Probably will we say that later, but she's the only person who's allowed to chat to me anyway. My mother, Joan, who holds us all together as a family, and also my brothers who've supported us in every step of this difficult path that we faced this year in the shadow of UKVI compliance. The parents, generosity and trust, we are unable to do without. And the parents who have showed understanding as we've made every effort that we possibly can to improve our educational pathways and outcomes. We certainly live in rapidly changing times. As Ian said, in the UK next month, the general election will most likely bring to power a new party, and a party determined to challenge the raison d'etre of private education. Also, financial measures adopted may lead to the viability of private education being questioned by families both home and abroad. And both major political parties in the UK are committed to limiting migration to the UK. Also, the graduate market has never been harder.
Jack Grealish has been dropped from the England squad. Leicester haven't got a manager. For some reason, deep down, I feel a positivity, and I don't think it's the groundless optimism of a Forest fan. Who is to say that the Gen Zers and the digital natives, when the time comes, will not display the same courage and forbearance as those who stormed the Normandy beaches 80 years ago? It's the positivity that I feel when I sit with like-minded educators and find myself reminded of Franklin D. Roosevelt's words that we cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. I was lucky enough to be invited to speak at the Ink Talks in Bangalore last autumn by a former student's parent. And I had the privilege of sitting on the bus to the airport with India's first blind billionaire, a gentleman called Shrikant Bolla, who's the subject of a forthcoming film. Shri's story is as inspirational as it gets. A young boy not allowed to undertake science practicals at school because he presented a risk to health and safety, and he ended up getting a scholarship to MIT. I just believe there is a fundamental need to evaluate what we're teaching children as well as how we are doing it. And students need to be given room to self-determine as they cultivate a broad skill set to cope with this future. If I could wish the graduating class of 2024 one thing, it would be the bravery to make decisions. I was speaking to one of the parents this morning. If you don't make decisions, you'll never make bad ones. No one will criticise you, but you won't make good ones either. And as another Roosevelt wrote before either of the great wars, it's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or whether the doer of good deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but one who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows, in the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat. Thank you very much. We're going to do the presentation of the certificate now. Look forward to seeing you at the football tomorrow. Please give generously to the charitable cause tonight. It's very close to my heart. And thank you for your time.
Leo, do you want to come join us on the station? So this is the moment now where we recognise, we acknowledge, and we celebrate those of our community that now become alumni. It would be sensible to listen to all the words that you've heard from Mr. Williams and perhaps reflect on his knowledge, his contacts, his willingness to develop you, whether you're in year 8 or year 12 or you've left. He's the touch point for which so many of you, not all at once perhaps, but in a reasonable order, get his email address, get his card, whatever it is, and make as many contacts as you can, because he's there to give you an opportunity. I will provide references academically in all that context, but really in the career of football as an industry, whether you're a footballer or you're not a footballer. If you're not a footballer like me, you're part of that football community, and it's pretty vibrant, pretty exciting. Think of all those short courses that have joined us throughout the course of this year and brought their experience of the world, whether it be from Peru, from Spain, from Pakistan, from Bulgaria. It's all there, and it's all down to Mr. Williams, his vision, and his team. So I'd like now, Mr. Leo, are you with me? There you are. So you're going to take the stage with the name and we're going to take the non-football academy first, and we're going to go into the groups of five.
Okay. Right, could I have Harry, Arabashir, Dara Rich, Jenny, and Komut, please? Jenny.
With our side, could I ask our speaker, which was on stage, Mr. Jones, and also Mr. Jones, he also joins on stage.
Yeah. I have turned my Bowie, Royce, and Kimana to pick up for Naomi, please. Royce.
Oh, yes, so we start it up.
Now we're gonna go with the footballers. Shitu, Ezra, Alexander, Aaron, and Asadullah, please. Bakari, Boris, Duet, Atu, and Ailey Richardson. Wait for Bakari. Bakari, Boris, come on, boys. Bakari, Boris, Duet, Atu. Let Atu first. Thank you. Irfan, Francesco, Gianni, Hassan, and Zach, please. Thank you. Jake, Jeremy, Joshua, Julian, and Kieran, please. Himana, Kyoko, Krishna, Maksu, and Martin, please. Thank you. I didn't know. Nathaniel, Olak Lekan, Podi, Prosper, and Tikai. Divine, Phil, Viraj, Lawal, and Victoria. Phil, Viraj, Lawal. Thank you. Yakub, Yuri, and Zayden. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bond, for that extraordinary organisation. Absolutely superb. Just to close now, and we are on, it's a little bit later, we've gone into Fergie time, it's extra time, I apologise. The sun has now come out, and you're going to enjoy, I think, the next part of the evening. There are a number of certificates here that relate to the community awards that I'd like to make sure everybody gets the certificate as well, please, at the close. But I'd just like to, in the best possible spirit of Butterwick, I'd like to call on Kimana, just very briefly at the end, just to receive a little gift to say thank you for being our school council lead. Kimana. Please share. And then can I just call on Smally, please, and Rihanna to close proceedings today.
Distinguished guests, directors, staff, parents, and students, I think we can all agree that we've enjoyed a really incredible prize giving. We all deserve to be recognized for our contributions to the success of the college. Thank you, Mr. Williams, for your address and everything you do for us. Thank you, Mrs. Williams. Both of you are very exceptional directors and, more importantly, incredible people who have helped us build and make what Brookhouse is over the last 55 years. So thank you very much.
On behalf of our community, we would like to thank Mr. Lawrence Jones for his inspiring words and extremely insightful reflections on his own career in football and his work towards our town and our own advisory board.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, for telling us so powerfully about the highs and lows of football life. Your talk was so informative and helpful for us as young players. Your work as a CEO at Bournemouth AFC with Eddie Howe was remarkable. More recently, we are very proud of the promotions and development and our partnership as a college with Harbour Town Club. Tomorrow, we will join you at Harbour Town for the Legends vs. Leavers game, kickoff at 2 p.m. I wonder if you'll be our referee then.
We can now retire to the main campus for a fabulous barbecue and celebration party. Now, remembering Mr. Smith's words from the African poem. These are very wise words. Hold on. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. And
Have a seat. Sit down.